Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially I have created a CSV, and I started by creating the CSV because it was the easiest part for me to understand. I named it patient, and obviously you have last name, last name, gender, status, diagnosis, and sorry about that. I have a baby crying in the background.
Sure, no problem.
And then I created a Python file, and I created a class called patients, and I put all the characteristics there, and I'm able to read the, as you can see in the bottom, I have already make a dictionary with all of my data. Like I can access that data, right? But now I created a new patient, and I want to add that patient, and I guess the code will look very similar to this, but instead of read, write. So that's where I'm heading next. It's pretty straightforward.
Sure. I'll take a stab at it. Does anyone have any suggestions where to start?
So this you can append instead of write. So whenever we start doing it right, it removes the previous data, the data from the other previous file. So probably better to append.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time.
Oh, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, a little better now.
Yeah, I said so instead of using R, to use A for append.
Okay, so it will be like similar to this, like with so then I'm guessing importing this module, there's like there's something for appending.
Yes.
That's like a function.
Yep, exactly. As in the documentation, everything listed there is included in the library. So you have access to all of those parameters, append being one of them.
Yes, I can say ads. And then would I use the dictionary reader as well here? Just
No,
like
you'll actually be using a writer, so it would be csv.writer, I believe, unless, of course, anyone correct me if I'm wrong.
oh yeah, there's a big writer here. Oh. And now here's like I have to do.
So I think with dictionary writer, at least one thing you'll have to add is like all your field names. So you'll just like you'd make a field names equals, and then just do it as a list, the name, last name, gender, status, and diagnosis.
Like creating another variable.
So you use it later on when you go to write to the CSV, you pass in the field names. So if you already have it just like set as a list, you can just pass it in, equaling itself. I don't know if that makes sense. I would say just continue, actually. Maybe just loop back to that part when you get there. Would be a better way for somebody else might be better at explaining that than me as well.
He's basically just saying you need a header. Right?
Like I'm
I
trying to.
didn't do dictionary. I used just a regular reader. So if it's different for dict like writer, I mean I use regular writer, so I don't know. But
I think if you were using the regular reader / writer, you would have to iterate using a for loop. But because you're using dict writer, you could actually add the line without using a for loop.
But I guess what you were trying to say, that there's a way of putting all of the categories and append each one in that order, and then they will show up in my CSV.
Yes, if you look at the README, for example, at the very bottom of the README, it's showing an example where it's using dict writer and it's passing in field names, setting it to field names. I'll copy and paste what's in the example into the Zoom chat, so you could reference it.
Okay, I'll continue working on this and see if I figure it out. I don't want to keep the stall here.
Do you see what I pasted into the Zoom chat?
Mm,
So the example that I'm referencing is actually in the week 5, day 3 README. I think you're looking at the WordSCS CSV README.
Oh, in the class.
Mhm.
Yeah, so but I got the 1 second. I thought I pasted, but I didn't. Anyway, I'll look at that and then get back to you. See if I
Sure. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, definitely work on it. You've got a very good start there. And if you use this example, you should be able to write in just one line all of the values that you want to add.
But essentially, for adding something, the idea is that I don't necessarily have to loop it if I use some sort of like dictionary like I guess where I can put all of these values and it just adds it that's in that same order to my CSV file. As long as I put them in the correct order, it should work to add something.
Exactly. The dict writer has the functionality for that. The dict writer method that you're using right now.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay, sure. While you're reworking that, would anyone else like to show theirs?
I can share mine.
Cool. Take it away.
All right. I've got a lot of this, like this first bit of code was just checking to see that I could write and read and append correctly. And then once I did that, I tried to put it in a class called CSV helper, and I got that to work. And then after that, I just tweaked it a little bit to where in the init of the CSV helper, I let you pass in a file name so that like wherever you're going to write the new file, will basically create a new CSV for you. And then in the different methods, like I just made one for each, like one method writes the CSV, one method appends, and one method reads it. And for write and append, those were the only ones that needed another argument. Basically just like a list or something that you could pass in for the CSV values. And then I checked it down here where CSV data is going to be like what I pass into the write method. And then new CSV data will just be whatever is getting appended to the file. And then we can run it right here, and we'll just create a new file when we do it. But it should, yeah, we got an example 4 with essentially the comma separated values. And then if we wanted to change anything in the list, then we can, I guess, adapt it to whatever the user wants.
Awesome. Awesome. This is, yeah, this is perfect. This accomplishes all 3 tasks. Great work.
Thank
Can you
you.
zoom up a bit, Philip, to
Yeah.
your write and append methods? So yes, I see you're using a CSV writer instead of dict writer, and that way you're able to just pass in these strings contained inside of the array directly.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way. I was gonna improve or try to improve it more to where you could type like just a string of comma separated values. And I was gonna split the string and just put it into a list. But then I realized like if you only do one list, then like you could only append or write like one thing at a time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just kind of just try to keep going on it.
Right on. Can we see that CSV data file format one more time? Or just the CSV data array down there, actually?
Oh, sorry, the array. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have your CSV data in a list nested inside of the CSV data list. Awesome. Cool. Anyone else want to walk us through their implementation?
Mine's much more simple, but I can share.
Right on. Awesome. Go for it, Ken.
So basically for mine, I just imported the CSV, and then I made 2 separate classes, one to write a CSV and then one to read a CSV. And for the write one, I just passed in a CSV file to write to, and then I just have everything within the method to write to it. So I'm not actually passing in anything to write to the CSV file. And then for the read CSV, it just reads the CSV once I call the method. So yeah. And then here's my CSV file. And I put a little header up there as well.
Nice.
So
Cool. Can we see these functions executing in real time?
yeah, maybe I can just delete that. And I have all my instances down here, so it should just yep, all that. It read all that, so that means that the CSV is probably populated.
Awesome. Awesome. Great work.
Thanks.
Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll share mine.
Right on. Take it away.
Can you guys see that?
Kinda.
Okay. Mine's pretty simple too. I didn't do append. I probably should. But I have a class of users, and this data here is users with first name, last name, email. What I want is the user to filter the first name and write it into a new CSV file.
Okay.
So it starts with the user to search. So if I run this, it's going to say first name character count limit. So first name with, below 5 characters. And then so does that, it opens, it filters the first names using list comprehension, and then writes it to the new file and prints it out, lets you know.
Right on. Kudos for the additional functionality. It's really cool to see that you added a way for the application for the class to request an input from the user and to see that input generate a new file. Awesome work.
Thanks.
Right on. Definitely some real world functionality there. Any more examples? Or does anyone have one that's in progress and can use a bit of assistance? All right, fair enough. Harry, how's it going? Have you had a chance to make any revisions? Or I see. Priorities, dinner. Awesome.
Dinner for somebody else.
Of course, fair enough. So let's see. I think this next challenge might take a while. We'll see. But we could go ahead and call it here. We'll take a break. And when you all get back, you can get started on the word guess challenge. And we are going to have you work in pairs, and we are going to let the Zoom pair you up into breakout rooms. So go ahead, take a break, and when you all come back, you should be in a breakout room ready to go. Sound good?
Sounds
Awesome.
good.